Welcome to a presentation on the air and water monitoring world markets. This is a service by the McIlvaine Company, which has been greatly expanded in the last few months to cover the entire range of the monitoring market. And I think our summary here will quickly show you the breadth of what is being covered in the report here. So we'll just scroll down a little bit here, and you can see that we are talking laboratory instruments, portable and field emergency response instruments, online continuous monitors, which are gaining a lot of traction in areas where portable were formerly used, and ambient air and fence line monitoring. We are also getting into the process analyzers for air and water that go along with those. And it's a very sizable market, as you can see, a $14 billion market. And we have very detailed forecasts that we can get into in a minute. The service is an online service with probably over 5,000 pages. And there are a number of subsidiary reports on a lot of the different industries, which we could quickly show you. But let's start with the news. And each month there would be a newsletter, and you can search the newsletter. But if you want to just see the latest newsletter, you would just go on and click on the August newsletter. And the subject matter is classified, as you can see. If there's a big convention and we're covering it, then that would be covered separately. And we spent a week at the AHIMA show, and we were interviewing people like, Hock Lang at their stand, and learning about the water instrumentation they have for all the municipal wastewater plants, as you can see in the background here. But we get into all the regulatory activities that are continuing, and we have an environmental attorney on our staff, Debbie Fox, as well, to cover some of these things. And of course, since this is a market report, anything new relative to the markets is what we are reporting in the newsletter as well. And we do track all the players and what they're doing. And so if they have come up with new products and new technologies, we're reporting on that as well. So you can just click on the on the article, and it shows up, and then you can go to additional information that we are preparing on that subject as well. And this newsletter comes out each month. One of the important categories here is corporate performance. So we track the companies that are in the field, and you can track, for instance, on AMETEK. And we're trying to get the forecasts going forward of what the analysts think their sales are going to be, or what the companies themselves think their sales will be. And so you can see here that we have estimated sales going out to 2013. If you want to see what some of who the analysts are and what they're saying, we actually have the links to that information in more detail. So we not only have market shares specifically for monitoring, but we have the individual company forecast for the corporation going out several years. In some cases, we do have it for divisions, but mostly the forecasts are being made for the entire corporation going forward. We run webinars on a continuing basis, and those who subscribe to the report can view a 92-minute webinar on each of these different subjects, like SO3, measurement and control. And we have people from URS and others, consulting companies, as well as from the thermal, environmental, thermal scientific, and people like that are making presentations in our webinars, and they range from the optimization of air pollution control systems, ability to measure mass, PM, and so forth here. Another, I think, very good feature. The heart of the whole thing is a complete intelligence system. So if we go back to home here, you can actually click, for instance, on products. And what we've tried to do is decisively classify every product that is used in monitoring both of air and water. So you can go in by its function, whether it's a sensor, whether it's software, whether it's the services or consumables that go along with this, or accessories, whether it's part of the medium, if it's processed gas, or if it's fenced line, or in the gas phase, or in the liquid phase, if it's something to measure the slurries rather than the processes, the processed liquid, or then we would be identifying articles and information in that regard. And those people who make moisture sensors or opacity suppliers or PM 2.5 are identified as well as information on the products. So you can get information, on ammonia generally, or you can actually, you go to the people who are actually supplying ammonia measurement equipment. So this is an efficient way to use all this. Another important feature is the applications. And so let's go back to the home here and click on applications. And we'll go to fish farming as an example here. And you can click on this particular, if it's a product description as opposed to a technical article, and read about this about a xylem system that's very specific for the aqua farm managers, and it has all these parameters that are listed here, et cetera. But we have a lot of the technical information too, and things that are going on around the world, and so we are actually, we won't bother to log into that one, but this information is then backed up by detailed articles, and we are making a big effort to be interfacing with all the people around the world who are involved in all these monitoring activities. The other thing which we think is important is we've identified all these applications precisely by their SIC codes. And so when it comes to, for instance, crude petroleum and natural gas, we separate shale gas from other subjects, so you can go directly into the shale gas, and you can see all the activities that are ongoing in terms of measurement of the emissions and measurement of the fluids that are being used. There's 30 different chemicals, for instance, that are being used. And we are dealing with the experts in all these areas. If you go down to sea freight, for instance, and deep sea freight, that we are dealing with the experts on ways to test the ballast water discharges. The location is another function here in the system. So you can, if you want to identify, again, we were talking about China, if you want to go back to China generally, and we also have it by various different cities, but there is a tremendous amount going on in terms of new monitoring activities in China, and the market-related information on it as well. We also have another newsletter and service on the remediation, and of course the monitoring aspect of that is significant as well. The the networking directory allows you to quickly determine for a particular product who the suppliers are and gives you contacts right at the company. So if you want to, interested in mercury monitors, for instance, and you want to find out who at Techran to call, then these people, Carl Wilbur and other people, show up very, very quickly. The subsidiary reports are very extensive in these services. So you see that the life sciences and energy, oil and gas sands, power, and so forth, we actually are tracking the individual updates, for instance, of all the oil sands projects on a continuing basis. And so this is all part of the monitoring report. So you can see, which companies are putting investments into various different shale and oil sand activities. So we do have that update section that also is part of the subsidiary report. You see there's profiles of the tar sand plants, new project listings, et cetera. And we have this for oil and gas and water and these other areas, as you can see over here, refining, and there would be something similar there as well. So we have for instance, the August updates on refinery, who's spending money where, and here's a project in the Philippines that are going to cost billions of dollars. And so monitoring, of course, is big in the refining, petrochemical, power, in a lot of the areas that we follow. So when you get this report, you're not only getting the main report on water and air monitoring, but you're also getting access to all these subsidiary reports that even give you the forecast of how many barrels per day there will be of new capacity in each country of the world. So these are the kind of things that we are supplying in this air and water monitoring report. In other words, you are getting the background data as to how we're coming up with forecasts going forward. We take the market shares and total sales of the companies presently to help us make sure we have the size of the present market. But then going forward, we have to use a lot of the forecasted data for growth by industries and also, of course, the regulations. I mean, for instance, we were just at the Mega Symposium last week looking at an SO3 monitor by Thermo and Environmental, or Thermo Scientific. It's a $300,000 monitor that a number of power plants may have to buy. And Thermo's already just recently sold them a $400,000 mercury monitor. So these are big new numbers that are regulatory driven rather than driven by expansion of the industry. In a nutshell, this is the air and water monitoring report, and we, of course, are available to answer more specific questions that you have. Thanks for taking the time to view and listen to this presentation. This is Bob McElvain signing off.